Evening, everybody. It is 5:13 on Monday afternoon, and this is your closing comment video number 2115. Okay, so we had this news about the Apple Google deal using Gemini. Both stocks took off, and I thought it was very constructive. However, they haven't had a successful launch of Gemini. And every time they do try and do something with it, it comes off amateurish. So I don't know that, you know, that's going to be the end all die all for this. But both stocks were higher. Unfortunately, both stocks closed just off their lows of the day, even though, let me just look, even though Apple was up 71 cents at seven right now, 773.35, up 73 cents. The high was 177.71, and the low was 173.20. That's 14 cents above the low. Google was the same thing. It got as high as 152.15, and while it was up 4.3% at 147.30, the low was 147.17, 19 cents below where we are. So I don't know that that's really going to be all that helpful. But the fact that there was something going on in AI was terrific. Jensen Huang had a strong keynote speech. And at the end of the day, and by the way, the speech was just going on. At the end of the day, we were 884 up, 884.55 up $6.18. But the high was 924.05 this morning. Now, in the after hours, we have actually turned lower. The stock is 871, down $7.36. And the low there is 863.26. So, in the grand scheme of things, we made the high at 974 6 days ago, rallied back the first time to 919, and then this time to 924.05, and yet we're lower. So, I think that some of these stocks are very tired. Even though the Nasdaq was up 130 and change, 0.82%, it was up over twice that much this morning. And there were more stocks on the Nasdaq down than up. Over on the NYSE, where we had the Dow up 75.66, or 0.2%, we still closed down about 2/3 on the day on the range. The only one that held up reasonably well was the S&P. It was up 6.63%, 32.33, but that gave back half of the gain from this morning. The Russell and the transports were actually down. The Russell was the big loser, down 0.72%, and the transports were down 0.52. Okay, so where do we go from here? Well, I'm doing this a little early, so I don't have the settlement prices. Oh, I do. I take that back. The oil, 82.16, up $1.58, and pretty close to the high of 82.50. Let's get a look at some of the other closings. These were not settled before. Okay, corn, soybeans down, wheat up a little. As I said, 82.16 on the oil, up $1.58, and up 4.5 cents on nat gas. Gold up $2.80. Silver down 11 cents. We are short the silver, and I'm very comfortable with this. Also, I added a new chart with comments because over the weekend, because um, we have a lot of talk about nuclear power. And while this is a very thin commodity, you can see what it's done. Let me see how far back this chart goes on a weekly. Okay, so we have been as low on this as $25. The first rally took it up to 41.75, came back down, tested that. The next run took us up to $65, consolidation again. The most recent run took us from $50 all the way up to the contract high, which is $106. It's come back down to 85. This really isn't a chart that we could trade, but I think it's important as we get um, more discussion about nuclear, that you know what it's going to take to get us there. Cotton up 60 cents, coffee down $1, sugar up a little, not much, 4 cents. As we already discussed, closing numbers on the indexes, and the dollar was slightly higher, Bitcoin down about 2,000, and the bonds down about a half a point. So we didn't have any meaningful news this morning, but we do have tomorrow. Let's see what we have tomorrow in economic news. I know we have housing starts and building permits. So we'll have that. The NAHB Market Housing Index was the only thing out today. It came in at 51. The consensus was 49, and the February actual was 48. So a little bit of improvement. However, um, the bonds, the 2 year note yield was up just a basis point, which is not overwhelming, but the 10 year continues to move higher. It was up 4 basis points, and that makes the 210 spread um, 41. So, pardon me, 39, and that is down 1 basis point from the weekend number. Okay, folks, that's about it. And I will get back to you first thing in the morning. I am not crazy about this market. There are new, by the way, one of my subscribers and friends called me today with the new symbols for the MAG 7. MAGS is the MAG 7 ETF. MAGX is for the 2 times, and MAGQ is for the inverse. So thanks, Dan, and I'll be back in the morning.